Today, restaurant quality dinners for any diet. Celiac safe seafood and pasta Primavera. Free, free, free. Free of gluten, free of dairy, and meat-free too. I'm Jeff Philbin. This is Dinner DeeAs. Chef Benjamin Clark is my guest in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen today, making a return visit from Olivia, who have locations in Tampa and St. Pete. Welcome back inside the Dinner DeeAs kitchen, my friend.
Thanks for having me back, man. I really appreciate it.
I am stoked to have you back to here. I'm doing good. You've been well?
I've been great. Thank you.
I can't wait to learn more about how you've been well. But today, Chef Benjamin has a custom-made menu that's just right for anyone who has a restricted diet, whether it's you, your family, or just your guests. In a moment, we'll be making a celiac-safe seafood in a Fritto Misto. Then later, we prepare a vegan pasta Primavera, and that's also celiac-safe and gluten-free. And if you're not just making these to cater for customers at the restaurant, your partner in life here, she also has to watch what she's eating. So this is really important to do just right.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to be the executive chef at Olivia for 3 years now, and about a year before that, Whitney and I started dating. She has celiac disease, which is activated by an intolerance for gluten.
So cooking for her is really important, but also cooking for the guests at the restaurant.
Absolutely.
Equally as important.
Yes.
That you get to do. So what do we got going on so far here? What are we doing?
This is a dish we actually make at Olivia. It's Fritto Misto, which translates from Italian strictly into fried mixed food, right? Yeah. And it's a seafood dish, and the real key about doing everything for this at home is obviously buying the freshest seafood, but then because this dish has calamari in it, you're gonna wanna cut all the rest of the seafood around it in equal pieces to make sure that the calamari is not overcooking when you fry it.
And that's an important step here, folks, because you wanna make sure everything fries together, right?
Exactly.
And so that way then you have that right bite, that it's not gonna be raw here or cooked there.
Exactly. So if you're adding scallops, and once again, one of the great things for all of our viewers at home, this is completely customizable. You don't like scallops, you don't like shrimp, omit it or put something else in.
And also, whatever's inside the budget that you can be able to find that you wanna bring in, because this is, just a fried mix here.
Exactly.
So have as much fun as you want with it.
Absolutely. We use halibut. It is a higher price fish. You can use grouper. You can use something a little bit more local if you like.
Okay.
But cutting that fish into small, manageable cubes that you're going to use when you're going to dredge it with the flour. And what we do at the restaurant is we obviously use breadcrumbs on the non-gluten-free, but right here, we're going to use a gluten-free pasta flour that we're going to be able to dredge everything with. It's going to leave it crispy, but be safe for our celiac and gluten-free viewers.
I absolutely love it.
And then the calamari. Cut into thick rings like this, okay? And then the real bit, listen, some people don't like to see those tentacles in their calamari. We love it.
Folks, if you haven't tried it before, what really is really nice about that bite is that it can take on so much of that batter.
Absolutely.
And that gives it even more texture, and it gets a little bit more of that crunch factor. So if you're on the fence a little bit, just take a bite, try it.
I explore everybody to try everything at least once. Absolutely. And you add all of our seafood together along with a little bit of just pre-made jalapenos.
That's it.
That's it. Super simple, super fresh. Everything gets combined. Once again, the keys are making sure that all the pieces are cut right and making sure that you're getting everything as fresh as possible.
Very cool. Grab Chef Benjamin's recipe for this Fritto Misto and his vegan pasta Primavera, which we're making later at dinnerdeas.com. Find us right now from the couch by opening the camera on your phone, pointing at the TV and the QR code down there in the corner. And you might need to zoom in, but a link to us will appear, and you can press that to follow along as you watch us both.
And then as we spoke about using fresh ingredients for the seafood, same thing when you're using ingredients, especially when you're talking about food intolerances and allergens.
Now, what type of flour do we have here then for this?
Okay. We use at the restaurant, Caputo is the brand. It's an Italian-based gluten-free pasta flour that we use. When you have it to the feel, it feels very similar to cornstarch. If at home you can't get this, but by the way, this is easily accessible to get on Amazon. We live in the modern world right now, right? Cornstarch is also an acceptable substitute.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, folks, I use the Caputo for making pizza at the house, and yeah, it is an Amazon find that you can find, and it's a great quality product that you can be able to now use gluten-free.
Absolutely. But just because we're taking the gluten out of the dish doesn't mean we got to take the flavor out of it, right?
Very cool.
Yeah. So just like you would with anything else breaded, you're going to want to season the breading, okay? So we have a mixture of cayenne pepper, white pepper, salt, and granulated garlic. And we're going to flavor that up. We're going to mix it all in. And then we're going to take a whisk and whisk it all together to make sure everything gets mixed evenly distributed, and then we're gonna take our seafood mixture of all those equal cut pieces, dredge it, and drop it into oil to fry.
And you say you've got white pepper in here. How important is it to really kind of, mask some of that speckling here? Because a black pepper could really kind of change the colors of everything that's happening here.
100%. It's gonna be more visual, absolutely. But also everybody needs to remember at home, white pepper's a little stronger than black pepper, so you're gonna wanna use less of it than you use when you cook with black pepper.
Very cool.
Absolutely. Yep. And then you're gonna use a sifter, all right? We're gonna add all of our seafood in there, and then we can just dredge, all right? We're gonna dredge everything together. And then just like anything else that you bread, if anybody's made chicken fingers or chicken tenders at home or breaded pork or whatever the case may be, after you dredge anything in the breading mixture, you're gonna wanna get all that extra off just so that it doesn't clump up in the fryer.
And then what type of oil do you like to use to fry everything in?
Something with a high smoke point.
Okay.
Sunflower oil, avocado oil, vegetable oil, straight vegetable oil is fine. We really don't like to do a lot of frying in olive oil, just for the fact that it doesn't have and the flavor will over impart that seafood and taste like Italian olive oil.
So something also neutral then?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. While we Fritto our Misto, we're taking a quick break. When we come back, we stay gluten-free as we bring you a very vegan version of a pasta Primavera ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Well, welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Chef Benjamin Clark is with us today, but gluten is not, as we make two dishes safe for celiacs and gluten-free. His Fritto Misto, which just started before the break, and a vegan pasta primavera we're about to make. Before the break, Chef Benjamin diced calamari, halibut, shrimp, and scallops, but you can use whatever fish that you find that's in your budget. Then blended a coating of gluten-free flour, salt, white pepper, cayenne pepper, and granulated garlic. Dredging the seafood along with some pickled jalapenos, making sure they were all covered on all sides, and frying in that hot oil, and it was really fast. It was like 90 seconds
90
fast.
seconds, absolutely.
And it looks absolutely fantastic. The colors
Correct.
on this just have that beautiful golden, just
And I don't know about you, just from looking at it, I can't tell it's not gluten-free, correct?
not at all.
Absolutely.
Not at all.
Yeah, when it comes out of the fryer, you want to be able to season it, and we're going to mix it into the bowl just like we do. Everything goes in the bowl after it comes directly out of the fryer. And then just for a little extra flavor, like I said, even though we season that breading, we're going to season it when it comes out of the fryer. Mix it with some of these pickled Fresnos or any sort of kind of like hot chili that you can
Nice.
get. We talk about flavor profiles like sweet, spicy, pickled, those kind of things. You want to try to hit as many points as you can on every single dish. And then we're just going to give it a nice toss.
Oh, I absolutely love that. And I mean, the colors come alive too when you're just adding some of those fresh ingredients behind it that just kind of take it to the next level.
And then we plate it up. This is a great thing to make for parties, a great thing to make in huge bulk for platters when you have a huge amount of guests over. The one tip I would have is when plating this, especially for big groups of people, put it on a plate. Don't put it on a bowl so that the stuff at the bottom doesn't get soggy.
I absolutely love that. Have that flat area so that way that I can use the surface area and just do it right.
Absolutely.
And speaking of surface area, a fork is always a must over here with this one here.
100%.
Now, it looks like you got a marinara sauce, a very traditional
Absolutely.
addition when it comes to a Fritto Misto.
Yep.
What's next to it though?
This is a Calabrian aioli that we serve at the restaurant
Okay.
with it. A nice squeeze of fresh lemon over the top. And we were talking about those.
I'm going for.
I agree.
You got to go with the. It's just that crunch factor. All right.
Absolutely, that's
you're
enjoyable.
going. You're going in for that.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Fantastic. It has that crisp. It's light. Doesn't hold the oil. It's absolutely delicious.
And if you were to have said that that was gluten free, I would never have known.
Nope.
I would never have known.
It
The
still has that
sacrifice of
crunch.
flavors is totally right there. It's you don't sacrifice anything on that one.
Not at all. Gluten-free, dairy-free, hits all the major allergens and all the food intolerances.
And you're also getting all those 4 great points here. You've got salt, you've got fat, you've got that heat, you've got the acid, all working. That's really what you want balanced within a dish like
100%.
this.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Good.
All
Great.
right. And we've got another dish because the appetizer's done.
Finished.
Now we're moving on to an entree. So
Yep.
what do we got going on over here?
We're gonna make a pasta primavera. Dairy-free, gluten-free, vegan, okay? Same thing that we talked about when we made the seafood earlier. We're gonna cut all of our pieces into similar sizes. Some we're gonna blanch, some we're gonna roast, so that when you bring everything together in the sauce, it's all ready and all meased out and ready to go.
I love it. What are we going to be roasting?
We're gonna be roasting little cherry tomatoes and peppers. We're gonna peel the pepper and julienne them up. But first we're gonna start by blanching some Romanesco. And a lot of people might not know what this vegetable is. It's in the broccoli family. It's Italian version of broccoli. And it's great to use in dishes like this. A lot of color and a lot of snap.
Now, we don't have to travel to Italy to find this.
No.
here, right?
You can get it at all your fresh farmers markets, all your fresh produce items, so places like Fresh Market, Whole Foods, places like that.
Very cool.
And it looks very similar to cauliflower, but like I said, it is in the broccoli family. We're gonna cut out the core just like this. And here's a little tip for all of our viewers at home. We're gonna blanch this in veg stock just to give it a little bit more flavor, and there's gonna be some veg stock in the sauce as well. But when you're making dishes like this, feel free to take all your vegetable scraps, keep them in a bowl, and then at the end of your prep time, put it in a pan, cover it with water, simmer it for about 30 minutes, and you have veg stock.
I love that because you don't have to throw it all away. There's so much that's happening over here that if you were to throw it away, it's gone.
Correct.
It's
And
out
you
of this
can't
way.
get it back.
You're never going to get it back. But
Correct.
if you keep it, you can reuse it, and that's how you're going to be able to get another layer of flavor in.
And once you cut that core off, you're just picking pieces off that make them bite-sized,
And
just
that's
like
really
that.
where it kind of comes into play with that whole broccoli component.
Absolutely.
Like.
We're gonna blanch those in veg stock just to get them a little bit more tender. And then as we do that, we're gonna take some oil into our cherry tomatoes along with that same mixture of white pepper, granulated garlic, kosher salt, and cayenne, and we're gonna toss that together and put it on our tray. Now at the restaurant, what we do, and when you see this, when we put it all together, we roast our tomatoes really low. You can do it 170, 190, 200
That's low.
degrees.
That's low, and that's probably going to take for a very long time.
It will. It
But
takes over 2 hours.
It takes over for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But to grab the recipe to make this for your dinner or the Fritto Misto that we made earlier, head to dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code in the corner of the screen. Find us right now on your phone. Now, how long are those going to go into the oven for?
We're going to go in the oven for about 375 degrees for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yep, just enough to blister
A
them
lot
up.
faster than 2 hours over here, my
Absolutely.
friends. While we ready the Romanesco, we're going to be taking another break. When we come back, how this dish comes together and how to pick good gluten-free pasta ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz with double the ideas for dinner today from Chef Benjamin Clark. He's making meals safe for anyone who needs to eat celiac safe, gluten-free, but without missing out on flavor. We're in the middle of making this pasta Primavera, which is also vegan. And before the break, we made a Fritto Misto, which translates as fried mixed. In this case, we use seafood. We got our seafood out of the oil and seasoned with just a little bit more of that mix of salt, white pepper, cayenne, and garlic we used earlier. Then we tossed it all with pickled chilies and fresh parsley, serving and tasting them with a pomodoro sauce and a beautiful aioli. Then we started on our pasta Primavera, roasting a tray of grape tomatoes and a pepper. Then blanched Romanesco, which looks like broccoli, but it cooks way faster. And we used veggie stock instead of water. And speaking on the theme of moisture over here, we use the stock here. You're using steam as a friend over here. So what did you do here with the pepper?
Like you said, we took our Romanesco out of the veggie stock and we blanched it and put it in an ice bath to stop the cooking. But when we took the pepper out of the oven, after we blistered it and everything, the best tip is to put it into a bowl. It can be any bowl, doesn't necessarily have to be a glass one, and cover it really tight with plastic wrap. And that continual cooking process steams the pepper and helps to remove that skin away. And once you get it, 5 or 6 minutes, and it's cool enough and manageable for you to handle with your hand.
That's the other piece to it there. Not only are you using the steam to make it a lot easier, because it's already starting to separate, number one, but number two, it needs to cool anyway.
Absolutely,
So it's like,
you don't
here's
want to
the
touch it
moment.
right out of the oven.
Two birds, one stone. On purpose
Absolutely.
here.
You peel all that skin away and then you cut it up. And just like we were talking about earlier, these are some of those scraps that you can use in that veg stock and that you can cover with water and make your own homemade veg stock. And this is what you're doing. You're just peeling the skin away and then you get all of that nice charred, flavorful flesh.
Everything's right there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And this is exactly what it's going to look like after you julienne it up.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Lovely.
Great. And then, so what we're going to do is with that veg stock that we use and we blanch right here, we've got water that we're going to talk about in a little bit for our gluten-free pasta. But we're going to bring our pan up to heat. And in this pan right now, we're going to get some olive oil, okay? And then a little bit of garlic and a little bit of crushed red pepper. And what you want to do is let that garlic and the crushed red pepper just infuse in that oil. We talked about bringing the flavors out and using veg stock before. Really get the most out of everything. Smell that?
You can already get all these smells over
Fantastic.
here. It's one of my favorites. It's actually like, people think about the crushed red pepper flakes, that it's like, too spicy and they don't go for it.
It's not.
You just have that nice little bit that it fries now with just the garlic over here. We'll take this off before it starts to burn here for you. And it just really brings so much flavor into your oil.
And then we're just going to start adding the veggies as we go. The blanched Romanesco, baby zucchini, quartered artichoke hearts, and then some of those wonderful red charred julienne peppers, and we're going to saute that a little bit. And here's the other beauty of it. As you start to saute and you start to cook over this heat, just like you talked about pulling that out and making sure that garlic didn't burn, we're going to add a little veg stock to deglaze that pan, and that's going to start to cook and become some of the base of our sauce.
Absolutely. That's going to lift anything that might have been sticking over here, but what should be sticking is this recipe in your rotation. To grab the recipes for yourself, they're worth trying whether or not you're eating gluten-free or vegan. Just head to dinnerdeas.com. You just use your phone to scan the QR code in the corner of the screen.
Now we're going to go and we're going to talk about cooking our gluten-free pasta.
Okay.
Okay. Just like we talked about our gluten-free pasta dough earlier and our flour that we coated the Fritto Misto in. This is a really high quality penne. You can get this on Amazon as well.
Okay.
Okay. This is the key though. This pasta also doesn't contain any egg, which is going to make it very accommodating to anybody with an egg allergy, anybody with dairy allergies. This is completely gluten-free, egg-free, vegan.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Corn and rice pasta blend over here.
Yep.
This is what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now listen, one of the best parts about this dish is if you're making this at home for all of your guests and you want to add breaded chicken on top, if you want to make this sauce and not use a gluten-free or an egg-free pasta, you can use it with regular spaghetti and it goes well with anything. And then that way, if you have a party with only 1 or 2 guests that have a gluten or a vegan or a dairy or egg intolerance, you can make it customizable to everybody in your party.
Now, let me ask you this, because you're cooking at the house with your partner here, and you're kind of adjusting your diet. Can you taste the difference, really? Does it really, do you suffer because of that? Is it more for her to be able to enjoy what it is? I mean, really?
Well, Whitney's created such a great home that what she'll do is she'll make the sauce, and then for her 2 boys, she'll make regular pasta. She'll make gluten-free pasta for herself. But I, over the years of dating her, have become accustomed to eating more gluten-free pasta. And it's not necessarily a taste thing by any stretch of the imagination. This is a perfect example. It's more of a texture thing and holding the sauce. But like you're going to see, because we're putting nutritional yeast in this sauce, it's going to bind and really thicken around this pasta really well.
So you don't really taste that difference. It doesn't really change that much for you.
No, not at all.
Cool.
Absolutely. So, okay, we have our pasta going, and now we're going to add the rest of our veggies. We're going to add those roasted tomatoes, like I said, just slightly blistered in, along with some nice chiffonata basil to give some fresh herb flavor in there as well.
And a chiffonata basil is just really, really thin strips over here.
Absolutely.
That it just infuses so nicely in this.
Correct. And as we start to bring everything together and let those flavors meld, this is the next ingredient that we're going to add. And this is, it seems like a lot, okay? It's about a ½ cup volume-wise, but this is nutritional yeast. And we talked earlier about flavor profiles, spicy, sweet, bitter, sour. That flavor that I'm sure that you know is that umami flavor, that deep roasted hearty flavor. And nutritional yeast is a good thing to add into vegan dishes that gives it that body.
Nice. And it's also got a really cool nickname, Nooch.
Absolutely.
I love that. Now, it's pretty easy to find these days too, right?
It is. You can find it in Publix. You can find it online, like we talked about, Amazon, anywhere. But right now, nowadays, absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we're going to add that nutritional yeast in, sprinkle it around so it coats everything. And then the rest of the liquid that's going to come in is some of that pomodoro that we had just from before.
Very nice.
Absolutely. And as we add that in, and then we're going to start to bring all those flavors together as the pasta cooks.
And you can kind of see that change there with that nooch there. It almost makes it like a creaminess behind it.
And that's exactly, people say in the vegan cooking that nutritional yeast simulates cheese very well, both from a melting standpoint, and look, you can see how it tightens all up and it's starting to make a sauce.
This is now absolutely coming alive absolutely beautifully, because if you make either of these dishes that we've been doing today, we want to know about it. Take a photo and share it with us at facebook.com/DeeAs. That's what Christine did. She's watching Newport Richie. Hi, Christine. She made the espresso rub steak in charred cucumber and avocado salad I cooked for Wilton Morley, who runs Tampa's Mad Dogs and Englishmen. Christine said, my husband was skeptical at first, but it came out amazing. I mean, Chef.
Looks absolutely delicious, right? She nailed it.
And you know what's really cool? Husband was a skeptic at first, but tried it and then was able to say, hey, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
You know, for those that might be on the fence and might be a little skeptical that, hey, it's gluten-free and it's going to be vegan, I'm not going to taste what I like.
Just like we talked about having the calamari tentacles earlier. Try it once and make your decision for yourself.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Just have some fun with the food. We're taking one last break. When we come back, we plate up our pasta Primavera ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Chef Benjamin Clark has been with us today. He's with Olivia, Chef Chris Ponce restaurants, which are now in Tampa and St. Pete. He's been sharing recipes safe for anyone with celiacs, gluten-free, but not taste-free. Earlier, we made a Fritto Misto, fried seafood. And we're just putting the finishing touches to his vegan pasta Primavera. Before the break, we got the Romanesco, we blanched in veggie stock, into an ice bath while we sauteed garlic and crushed red pepper flakes, then added the Romanesco along with some zucchini and artichoke hearts, plus the piquillo peppers we roasted earlier, then added veggie stock while we cooked up our gluten-free pasta, adding the roasted tomatoes and some basil to the sauce, along with nutritional yeast and a little of that pomodoro sauce. And I mean, that is absolutely stunning looking.
Came together beautifully,
It
didn't
has
it?
the creaminess that you would think, and a lot of that is because of just that nutritional yeast.
Absolutely, 100%.
All right, and then we've got the pasta over here, and let's make sure that we cooked it al dente.
It's a great product, right? Still has that bite. Negligible on whether you can tell it's actually gluten-free.
It's very subtle. It's very subtle that there's even a difference. Like if someone was really doing a blind taste test, you probably, most people would actually not be able to do that. The only difference here was it takes a little longer.
It does. It takes about 11 to 13 minutes, like a penne would usually take about 6 or 8 if it was more of a traditional pasta, correct? So we're gonna add our pasta after it comes out of the pasta water. And listen, in a case like this, when cooking with Italian traditional pasta and traditional Italian cooking, you would wanna add a little bit of that pasta cooking water back in to try to bind everything together, and as we bring this and toss it all together, but adding a little bit of that veg stock doesn't hurt either.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that all together, and then after we have it all set and everything coats the pasta really well, we're gonna bring it to our plate. Look at that.
Coming together like that.
Absolutely.
And I just love how
no
it
cheese,
really,
nothing.
Yeah, no cheese at all, but it has that creaminess as the cheese is there.
Absolutely. And then, just to add those flavors, like we talked about, some acidity, a little bit of bite, we're gonna add a little bit of fresh capers right over the top for that acidity.
Capers, folks. You love capers?
Love them, absolutely. I'll put them on anything. A little bit of fresh micro basil, and then we'll garnish it with a little bit of lemon so we can get a fresh squeeze when it comes
And just
time.
have that nice burst of acid right there.
Very simple, very easy, and very easy for anybody to execute at home.
Look at that. Thanks to Chef Benjamin for both the dishes he shared today. Grab the recipes for them at dinnerdeas.com, where we also have a link to Olivia so that you can sample his cooking in person. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time with more ideas for dinner as we call Dinner Dias.